Judges 12 New American Standard Bible. Judges 12 New American Standard Bible. Judges 12 New American Standard Bible. Judges 12. Then the men of Ephraim were summoned, and they crossed to Zaphon and said to Jephthah, "Why did you cross over to fight against the sons of Ammon without calling us to go with you? We will burn your house down on you." Jephthah said to them, I and my people were at great strife with the sons of Ammon. When I called you, you did not deliver me from their hand. 3. When I saw that 3. When I saw that you would not deliver me, I took my life in my hands and crossed over against the sons of Ammon, and the Lord gave them into my hand. Why then have you come up to me this day to fight against me? 4. Then Jephthah gathered all the men of Gilead and fought Ephraim, and the men of Gilead defeated Ephraim, because they said, you are fugitives of Ephraim, O Gilead, in the midst of Ephraim and in the midst of Manasseh. 5. The Gileadites captured the fords of the Jordan opposite Ephraim, and it happened when any of the fugitives of Ephraim said, let me cross over, the men of Gilead would say to him, are you an Ephraimite? If he said no, 6, then they would say to him, say now Sibboleth. But he said Sibboleth, for he could not pronounce it correctly. Then they seized him and slew him at the fords of the Jordan. Thus there fell all that time 42,000 of Ephraim. 7. Jephthah judged Israel 6 years. Then Jephthah the Gileadite died and was buried in one of the cities of Gilead. 8. Now Ibzan of Bethlehem judged Israel after him. 9. He had 30 sons and 30 daughters whom he gave in marriage outside the family, and he brought in 30 daughters from outside for his sons, and he judged Israel 7 years. 10. Then Ibzan died and was buried in Bethlehem. 11. Now Elon the Zebulunite judged Israel after him, and he judged Israel 10 years. 12. Then Elon the Zebulunite died and was buried at Ajalon in the land of Zebulun. 13. Now Abdon the son of Hillel the Parathonite judged Israel after him. 14. He had 40 sons and 30 grandsons who rode on 70 donkeys, and he judged Israel 8 years. 15. Then Abdon the son of Hillel the Parathonite died and was buried at Parathon in the land of Ephraim in the hill country of Amalekites. Judges 13, New American Standard Bible. 1. Now the sons of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord, so that the Lord gave them into the hands of Philistines 40 years. 2. There was a certain man of Zola of the family of Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and had borne no children. 3. Then the angel of the Lord appeared to the woman and said to her, behold, now you are barren and have borne no children, but you shall conceive and give birth to a son. 4. Now therefore be careful not to drink wine or strong drink, nor eat any unclean thing. 5. For behold, you shall conceive and give birth to a son, and no razor shall come upon his head, for the boy shall be a Nazirite to God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel from the hands of Philistines. 6. Then the woman came and told her husband, saying, a man of God a man of God came to me, and his appearance was like the appearance of the angel of God, very awesome. And I did not ask him where he came from, nor did he tell me his name. 7. But he said to me, Behold, you shall conceive and give birth to a son, and now you shall not drink wine or drink or strong drink or strong drink, or strong drink, nor eat any unclean thing, for the boy shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb. A Nazarite shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb to the day of his death. 8. Then Manoah entreated the Lord and said, O Lord, please let the man of God whom you have sent come to us again, that he may teach us what to do for the boy who is to be born. 9. God listened to the voice of Manoah, and the angel of God came again to the woman as she was sitting in the field, but Manoah's husband was not with her. 10. So the woman ran quickly and told her husband, Behold, the man who came the other day has appeared to me. 11. Then Manoah arose and followed his wife, and when he came to the man, he said to him, Are you the man who spoke to the woman? And he said, I am. 12. Manoah said, Now when your words come to pass, what shall be the boy's mode of life and his vocation? What's vocation? Vocation, a strong inclination or calling to a particular state or course of action, often associated with a divine calling, a divine call to a religious life, an occupation to which a person is especially drawn or suited, trained or qualified, a type of work that one feels suited to doing and to which one should dedicate time, a particular occupation, business or profession, a vocation. 13. So the angel of the Lord said to Manoah, Let the woman pay attention to all that I said. 14. She should not eat anything that comes from the vine, nor drink wine or strong drink, nor eat any unclean thing. Let her observe all that I commanded. 15. Then Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, Please let us detain you, so that we may prepare a young goat for you. 16. The angel of the Lord said to Manoah, Though you detain me, I will not eat your food. But if you prepare a burnt offering, then offer it to the Lord. For Manoah did not know that he was the angel of the Lord. 17. Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, What's your name, so that when your words come to pass, we may honor you? 18. But the angel of the Lord said to him, Why do you ask my name? Seeing it is wonderful. 19. So Manoah took the young goat with a grain offering and offered it on the rock to the Lord, and he performed wonders while Manoah and his wife looked on. 20. For it came about when the flame went up from the altar toward heaven, that the angel of the Lord ascended in the flame of the altar. When Manoah and his wife saw this, they fell on their faces. They fell on their faces to the ground. 21. Now the angel of the Lord did not appear to Manoah or his wife again. Then Manoah knew that he was the angel of the Lord. 23. So Manoah said to his wife, We will surely die, for we have seen God. 23. But his wife said to him, If the Lord had desired to kill us, he would not have accepted a burnt offering and a grain offering from our hands, nor would he have shown us all these things, nor would he have let us hear things like this at this time. Judges 13, American Standard Bible. 24. Then the woman gave birth to a son, and named him Samson, and the child grew up, and the Lord blessed him. 25. And the Spirit of the Lord began to stir him in Mahanaim, down between Zorah and Estaol. Judges 14, New American Standard Bible. 1. Then Samson went down to Then Samson went down to Timnah and saw a woman in Timnah, one of the daughters of Philistines too. So he came back. This was Then Samson went down to Timnah and saw a woman in Timnah, one of the daughters of Philistines too. So he came back and told his father and mother, I saw a woman in Timnah, one of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me as a wife. 3. Then his father and his mother said to him, Is there no women among the daughters of your relatives, or among all our people, that you can go to take a wife from that you go to take a wife from the uncircumcised Philistines? But Samson said to his father, Get her for me, for she looks good to me. For however his father and mother did not know that it was of the Lord, for he was seeking an occasion against the Philistines. Now at that time the Philistines were ruling over Israel. 5. Then Samson went down to Timnah with his father and mother, and came as far as the vineyards of the Timnah. And behold, a young lion came roaring toward him. 6. The Spirit of the Lord came upon him mightily, so that he tore him as one tears a young goat, though he had nothing in his hand. But he did not tell his father nor mother what he had done. 7. So he went down and talked to the woman, and she looked good to Samson. 8. When he returned later to take her, he turned aside to look at the carcass of the lion, and behold, a swarm of bees and honey were in the body of the lion. 9. So he scraped the honey into his hands and went on eating as he went. When he came to his father and mother, he gave some to them, and they ate it, but he did not tell them that he had scraped the honey out of the body of the lion. 10. Then his father went down to the woman, and Samson made a feast there, for the young men customarily did this. 11. When they saw him, they brought 30 companions to be with him. 12. Then Samson said to them, Let me now propound a riddle to you. If you will indeed tell it to me within the 7 days of the feast, and find it out, then I will give you 30 linen wraps and 30 changes of clothes. 13. But if you are unable to tell me, then you shall give me 30 linen wraps and 30 changes of clothes. And they say to him, Propound your riddle, that we may hear it. 14. So he said to them, Out of the eater came something to eat, and out of the strong came something sweet, but they could not tell the riddle in 3 days. 15. Then it came about on the 4th day that they said to Samson's wife, Entice your husband, so that he will tell us the riddle, or we will burn you and your father's house with fire. Have you invited us to impoverish us? Is it not so? 16. Samson's wife wept before him and said, You only hate me, and you do not love me. You have propounded a riddle to the sons of my people, and have not told it to me. And he said to her, Behold, I have not told it to my father or my mother, so should I tell you? 17. However, she wept before him 7 days while their feast lasted. And on the 7th day he told her, because she pressed him so hard. She then told the readers, the sons of her people. 18. So the men of the city said to him on the 7th day, before the sun went down, What is sweeter than honey, and what is stronger than a lion? And he said to them, If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have found out my riddle. Heifer. What is heifer? If you had not plowed with my heifer. What is heifer? What? Yo! Heifer. Heifer. What is heifer? Heifer meaning heifer. A cow, especially one that has not given birth to a calf. A cow is a female domesticated. Cow. My people mistakenly believe that a heifer is a cow. Okay. 19. Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon him mightily, and he went down to Askelon and killed 30 of them, and took their spoil, and gave the changes of clothes to those who told the riddle. And his anger burned, and he went up to his father's house. 20. But Samson's wife was given to his companion, who had been his friend. Judges 15, New American Standard Bible 1. But after a while, in the time of wheat harvest, Samson visited his wife with a young goat, and said, I will go in to my wife in her room. But her father did not let him enter. 2. Her father said, I really thought that you hated her intensely, so I gave her to your companion. Is not her younger sister more beautiful than she? Please let her be yours indeed. 3. Samson then said to them, This time I shall be blameless in regard to the Philistines when I do them harm. 4. Samson went and caught 300 foxes and torches, and turned the foxes tail to tail, and put one torch in the middle between two tails. 5. When he had set fire to the torches, he released the foxes into the standing grain of the Philistines, thus burning up both the shocks and the standing grain, along with the vineyards and groves. 6. Then the Philistines said, Who did this? And they said, Samson, the son-in-law of the Timnite, because he took his wife and gave her to his companion. So the Philistines came up and burned her and her father with fire. 7. Samson said to them, Since you act like this, I will surely take revenge on you, but after that I will quit. 8. He struck them ruthlessly with a great slaughter, and went down and lived in the cleft of the rock of Etam. 9. Then the Philistines went up and camped in Judah and spread out in Lehi. 10. Then the men of Judah said, Why have you come up against us? And they said, We have come up to bind Samson, in order to do to him as he did to us. 11. Then 3,000 men of Judah went down to the cleft of the rock of Etam, and said to Samson, Do you not know that the Philistines are rulers over us? What then is this that you have done to us? And he said to them, As they did to me, so I have done to them. 12. They said to him, we have come down to bind you so that we may give you into the hands of the Philistines. And Samson said to them, swear to me that you will not kill me. 13. So they say to him, no, but we will bind you first and give you into their hands, yet surely we will not kill you. Then they bound him with 2 new ropes and brought him up from the rope. 14. When he came to Lehi, the Philistines shouted as they met him, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon him mightily, so that the ropes that were on his arms were as flax that is burned with fire, and his bonds dropped from his hands. 15. He found a fresh jawbone of a donkey, so he reached out and took it and killed 1,000 men with it. 16. Then Samson said, with the jawbone of a donkey, heaps upon heaps, with the jawbone of a donkey, I have killed 1,000 men. 17. When he 17. When he had finished speaking, he threw the jawbone from his hand, and he named that place Ramath Lehi. 18. Then he became very thirsty, and he called to the Lord and said, you have given this great deliverance by the hand of your servant, and now shall I die of thirst and fall into the hands of the uncircumcised. 19. But God split the hollow place that is in Lehi, so that the water came out of it. When he drank, his strength returned, and he revived. Therefore he named it En-Hakkore, which is in Lehi to this day. 19. So he judged Israel 20 years in the days of Philistines. Judges 16, New American Standard Bible. 1. Now Samson went to Gaza and saw a harlot there, and went Now Samson went to Gaza and saw a harlot there, and went in to her. 2. When it was told to the Gazites, saying, Samson has come here, they surrounded the place and lay in wait for him all night at the gate of the city. And they kept silent all night, saying, let us wait until the morning light, then we will kill him. 3. Now Samson lay until midnight, and at midnight he arose and took hold of the doors of the city gate and the 2 posts, and pulled them up along with the bars. Then he put them on his shoulders and carried them up to the top of the mountain, which is opposite Hebron. 4. After this it came about that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. 5. The lords of Philistines came up to her and said to her, entice him and see where his great strength lies, and how we may overpower him, that we may bind him to afflict him. Then we will each give you 1,100 pieces of silver. 6. So Delilah said to Samson, please tell me where your great strength is, and how you may be bound to afflict you. 7. Samson said to her, if they bind me with 7 fresh cords that have not been dried, then I will become weak and be like any other man. 8. Then the lords of Philistines brought up to her 7 fresh cords that had not been dried, and she bound him with them. 9. So she had men lying in wait in a room, and she said to him, the Philistines are upon you, Samson. But he snapped the cords as a string of tow snap, as a string of tow snaps when it touches fire. So his strength was not discovered. 10. Then Delilah said to Samson, behold, you have deceived me and told me lies. Now please tell me how you may be bound. 11. He said to her, if they bind me tightly with new ropes, which have not been used, then I will become weak, and I will be like any other man. 12. So Delilah took new ropes and bound him with them, and said to him, the Philistines are upon you, Samson. For the men were lying in wait in the inner room. But he snapped the ropes from his arms like a thread. 13. Then Delilah said to Samson, up to now you have deceived me and told me lies. Tell me how you may be bound. And he said to her, if you weave the 7 locks of my hair with a web and fasten it with a pin, then I will become weak, and I will be like any other man. 14. So while he slept, Delilah took the 7 locks of his hair and wove them into the web, and she fastened it with a pin, and said to him, the Philistines are upon you, Samson. But he awoke from his sleep and pulled out the pin of the loom and the web. Man, this Samson guy, this woman is doing all this to you for all this time, and you're not chasing her away. 15. Then she said to him, how can you say I love you when your heart is not with me? You have deceived me these 3 times, and have not told me where your great strength is. 16. It came about when she pressed him daily with her words and urged him that his soul was annoyed to death. 7. So he told her all that was in his heart, and said to her, a razor has never come on my head, for I have been a Nazarite to God from my mother's womb. If I am shaved, then my strength will leave me, and I will become weak and be like any other man. 18. When Delilah saw that he had told her all that was in his heart, she went and called the lords of the Philistines, saying, come up once more, for he has told me all that is in his heart. Then the lords of the Philistines came up to her and brought the money in their hands. 19. She made him sleep on her knees and called for a man and had him shave off the 7 locks of his head. Then she began to afflict him, and his strength left him. 20. She said, the Philistines are upon you, Samson. And he awoke from his sleep and said, I will go out as at other times and shake myself free. But he did not know that the Lord had departed from him. Judges 16, New American Standard Bible. 21. Then the Philistines seized him and gouged, gouged out his eyes, and they brought him down to Gaza and bound him with bronze chains, and he was a grinder in the prison. 22. However, the hair of his head began to grow again after it was shaved off. And 3. Now the lords of the Philistines assembled to offer a great sacrifice to Dagon their god, and to rejoice, for they said, our God has given Samson our enemy into our hands. 24. When the people saw him, they praised their God, for they said, our God has given our enemy into our hands, even the destroyer of our country, who has slain many of us. 25. It so happened when they were in high spirits that they said, call for Samson, that he may amuse us. So they called for Samson from the prison, and he entertained them, and they made him stand between the pillars. 26. Then Samson said to the boy who was holding his hand, let me feel the pillars on which the house rests, that I may lean against them. 27. Now the house was full of men and women, and all the lords of the Philistines were there, and about 3,000 men and women were on the roof looking on while Samson was amusing them. 28. Then Samson called to the Lord and said, O Lord God, please remember me, and please strengthen me just this time, O God, that I may at once be avenged of the Philistines for my 2 eyes. 29. Samson grasped the 2 middle pillars on which the house rested, and pressed himself against them, the one with his right hand and the other with his left. 30. And Samson said, Let me die with the Philistines. And he bent with all his might, so that the house fell on the lords and all the people who were in it. So the dead whom he killed at his death were more than those whom he killed in his life. Oh, killed many. 31. Then his brothers and all his father's household came down, took him, brought him up, and buried him between Zorah and Estaol in the tomb of Manoah his father. Thus he had judged Israel 20 years. 27. Judges 17, New American Standard Bible. 1. Now there was a man of the hill country of Ephraim, whose name was Micah. 2. He said to his mother, The 1,100 pieces of silver which were taken from you, about which you altered a curse in my hearing, behold, the silver is with me. I took it. And his mother said, Blessed be my son by the Lord. 3. He then returned the 1,100 pieces of silver to his mother, and his mother said, I wholly dedicate the silver from my hand to the Lord for my son to make a graven image and molten image. Now therefore I will return to them. 4. So when he returned the silver to his mother took 200 pieces of silver and gave them to the silversmith, who made them into a graven image and a molten image, and they were in the house of Micah, M-I-C-A-H, Micah. 5. And the man Micah had a shrine, and he had made an ephod and household idols, and consecrated one of his sons, that he might become his priest. 6. In those days there was no king in Israel. Every man did what was right in his own eyes. 7. Now there was a young man from Bethlehem in Judah, of the family of Judah, who was a Levite, and he was staying there. 8. Then the man departed from the city, from Bethlehem in Judah, to stay wherever he might find a place. And he made his journey. He came to the hill country of Ephraim, to the house of Micah. 9. Micah said to him, Where do you come from? And he said to him, I'm a Levite from Bethlehem in Judah, and I'm going to stay wherever I may find a place. 10. Micah then said to him, Dwell with me, and be a father and a priest to me, and I will give you 10 pieces of silver a year, a suit of clothes, and your maintenance. So the Levite went in. 11. The Levite agreed to live with the man, and the young man became to him like one of his sons. 12. So Micah consecrated the Levite, and the young man became his priest and lived in the house of Micah. 13. Then Micah said, Now I know that the Lord will prosper me, seeing I have a Levite as priest. Judges 18, New American Standard Bible. 1. In those days there was no king of Israel, and in those days the tribe of the Danites was seeking an inheritance for themselves to live in, for until that day an inheritance had not been allotted to them as a possession among the tribes of Israel. 2. So the sons of Dan sent from their family 5 men out of their whole number, a valiant man from Zorah and Estal, to spy out the land and to search it. And they said to them, Go search the land. And they came to the hill country of Ephraim, to the house of Michah, and lodged there. 3. When they were near the house of Michah, they recognized the voice of the young man, the Levite, and they turned aside there and said to him, Who brought you here? And what are you doing in this place? And what do you have here? For he said to them, Thus and so has Michah done to me, and he hired me, and I have become his. 5. They said to him, Inquire of God, please, that we may know whether 13. Passed from there to the hill country of Ephraim and came to the house of Michah. 14. Then the 5 men who went to spy out the country of Laish said to their kinsmen, Do you know that there are in these houses an ephod and household idols and a graven image and a molten image? Now therefore consider what you should do. 15. They turned aside there and came to the house of the young man the Levite, to the house of Michah, and asked him of his welfare. 16. The 600 men armed with their weapons of war, who were of the sons of Dan, stood by the entrance of the door. 17. Now the 5 men who went to spy out the land went up and entered there and took the graven image and the ephod and household idols and the molten image, while the priest stood by the entrance of the gate with the 600 men armed with weapons of war. 18. When these went into Michah's house and took the graven image, the ephod and household idols and the molten image, the priest said to them, What are you doing? 19. They said to him, Be silent, put your hand over your mouth, and come with us, and be to us a father and a priest. Is it better for you to be a priest to the house of one man, or to be a priest to a tribe and a family in Israel? 20. The priest's heart was glad, and he took the ephod and household idols and the graven image and went among the people. 21. Then they turned and departed and put the little ones and the livestock and the valuables in front of them. Judges 18. New American Standard Bible 22. When they had gone some distance from the house of Michah, the men who were in the houses near Michah's house assembled and overtook the sons of Dan. 23. They cried to the sons of Dan, who turned around and said to Michah, What's the matter with you that you have assembled together? 24. He said, You have taken away my gods, which I made, and the priest and have gone away, and what do I have besides? So how can you say to me, What is the matter with you? 25. The sons of Dan said to him, Do not let your voice be heard among us, or else fierce men will fall upon you, and you will lose your life with the lives of your household. 26. So the sons of Dan went on their way, and when Michah saw that they were too strong for him, he turned and went back to his house. 27. Then they took what Michah had made and the priest who had belonged to him, and said to Laish, to a people quiet and secure, and struck them with the edge of the sword and burned the city with fire. 28. And there was no one to deliver them, because it was far from Sidon, and they had no dealings with anyone, and it was in the valley which is near Beth Rehob, and they rebuilt the city and lived in it. 29. They called the name of the city Dan, after the name of Dan their father, who was born in Israel. However, the name of the city formerly was Laish. 30. The sons of Dan set up for themselves the graven image, and Jonathan, the son of Gashom, the son of Manasseh, he and his sons were priests to the tribe of Danites until the day of the captivity of the land. 31. So they set up for themselves Michah's graven image, which he had made all the time that the house of God was at Shiloh. Judges 19, New American Standard Bible 1. Now it came about in those days when there was no king in Israel, that there was a certain Levite staying in the remote part of the country of Ephraim, who took a corn from Bethlehem in Judah. 2. But his concubine played the harlot against him, and she went away from him to her father's house in Bethlehem in Judah, and was there for a period of 4 months. 3. Then her husband arose and went after her to speak tenderly to her, in order to bring her back, taking with him his servant and a pair of donkeys. So she brought him into her father's house, and when the girl's father saw him, he was glad to meet him. For his father-in-law, the girl's father, detained him, and he remained with him 3 days. So they ate and drank and lodged there. 5. Now on the 4th day they got up early in the morning, and he prepared to go. And the girl's father said to his son-in-law, sustain yourself with a piece of bread, and afterward you may go. 6. So both of them sat down and ate and drank together. And the girl's father said to the man, please be willing to spend the night, and let your heart be merry. 7. Then the man arose to go, but his father-in-law urged him, so that he spent the night there. 8. On the 5th day he arose to go early in the morning, and the girl's father said, please sustain yourself and wait until afternoon. So both of them ate. 9. When the man arose to go along with a concubine and servant, his father-in-law, the girl's father, said to him, behold, now the day has drawn to a close. Please spend the night. Lo, the day is coming to an end. Spend the night here, that your heart may be merry. Then tomorrow you may arise early for your journey, so that you may go home. 10. But the man was not willing to spend the night, so he arose and departed, and came to a place opposite Jubas, that is Jerusalem, and there was with him a pair of saddled donkeys. His concubine also was with him. Concubine is a woman who cohabits with a man without being legally married to him. Historically, the term has been used to describe women in polygamous societies where a man could have multiple wives and concubines. Children born to a concubine were often considered legitimate if the man had a legal wife. The term is derived from the Latin meaning to lie with. In modern context, it can refer to a woman in a long-term relationship with a man without the formalities of marriage. 11. When they were near Jubas, the day was almost gone, and the servant said to his master, please come and let us turn aside into the city of Jebusites and spend the night in it. 12. However, his mother said to him, we will not turn aside into the city of foreigners who are not of the sons of Israel, but we will go on as far as Gibeah. 13. He said to his servant, come and let us approach one of these places, and we will spend the night in Gibeah or Ramah. 14. So they passed along and went their way, and the sun set out on them near Gibeah, which belongs to Benjamin. 15. They turned aside there in order to enter and lodge in Gibeah. When they entered, they sat down in the open square of the city, for no one took them into his house to spend the night. 16. Then behold, an old man was coming out of the field from his work at evening. Now the man was from the hill country of Ephraim, and he was staying in Gibeah. But the men of the place were Benjamites. 17. And he lifted up his eyes and saw the traveler in the open square of the city. And the old man said, where are you going, and where do you come from? 18. He said to him, we are passing from Bethlehem in Judah, to the remote part of the hill country of Ephraim, for I am from there, and I went to Bethlehem in Judah, but I am now going to my house, and no man will take me into his house. 19. Yet there is both straw and fodder for our donkeys, and also bread and wine for me, your maid servant, and the young man who is with your servants. There is no lack of anything. 20. The old man said, Peace to you, only let me take care of you. Only let me take care of all your needs. However, do not spend the night in the open square. 21. So he took him into his house and gave the donkeys fodder, and they washed their feet and ate and drank. Judges 19, New American Standard Bible. 22. When they were celebrating, behold, the men of the city, certain worthless fellows, surrounded the house, pounding the door, and they spoke to the owner of the house, the old man, saying, Bring out the man who came into your house, that we may have relations with him. And 3. Then the man, the owner of the house, went out to them and said to them, No, my fellows, please do not act so wickedly. Since this man has come into my house, do not commit this act of folly. What is an act of folly? Folly. Folly. Lack of good judgment or sense. An act of folly refers to a lack of good judgment or sense, often resulting in foolish actions or decisions. It can be described as an instance of foolishness or a costly understanding with an absurd outcome. In essence, it signifies actions that demonstrate a failure to exercise rational thought or foresight. 10:4. Here is my virgin daughter and his concubine. Please let me bring them out that you may ravish them, and do to them whatever you wish, but do not commit such an act of folly against this man. 5. But the men would not listen to him. So the man seized his concubine and brought her out to them, and they raped her and abused her all night until morning. Then let her go at the approach of dawn. 6. As the day began to dawn, the woman came and fell down at the door of the man's house where her master was until full daylight. 7. When her master arose in the morning and opened the doors of the house and went out to go on his way, then behold, his concubine was lying at the doorway of the house with her hands on the threshold. 28. He said to her, Get up and let us go. But there was no answer. Then he placed her on the donkey, and the man arose and went to his home. 29. When he entered his house, he took a knife and laid hold of his concubine and cut her in 12 pieces, limb by limb, and set her throughout the territory. 30. All who saw it said nothing like this has ever happened or been seen from the day when the sons of Israel came up from the land of Egypt to this day. Consider it, take counsel, and speak up. Judges 20, New American Standard Bible. 1. Then all the sons of Israel from Dan to Beersheba, including the land of Gilead, came out, and the congregation assembled as one man to the Lord at Mizpah. 2. The chiefs of all the people, even of all the tribes of Israel, took their stand in the assembly of people of God, 400,000 foot soldiers who drew the sword. 3. Now the sons of Benjamin heard that the sons of Israel had gone up to Mizpah, and the sons of Israel said, Tell us, how did this wickedness take place? 4. So the Levite, the husband of the woman who was murdered, answered and said, I came with my concubine, spent the night at Gilead, which belongs to Benjamin. 5. But the men of Gibeah rose up against me and surrounded the house at night because of me. They intended to kill me. Instead, they ravished my concubine so that she died. 6. And I took hold of my concubine and cut her into pieces and sent her throughout the land of Israel's inheritance, for they have committed a lewd and wasteful act in Israel. 7. Behold, all you sons of Israel, give your advice and counsel here. Counsel. 8. Then all the people arose as one man, said, Not one of us will go to his tent, nor will any of us return to his house. 9. But now this is the thing which we will do to Gibeah. We will go up against it by lot. 10. And we will take 10 men out of 100 throughout the tribes of Israel, and 100 out of 1,000, and 1,000 out of 10,000, to supply food for the people, that when they come to Gibeah of Benjamin, they may punish them for all the disgraceful acts they have committed in Israel. 11. Thus all the men of Israel were gathered against the city, united as one man. 12. Then the tribes of Israel sent men through the entire tribe of Benjamin, saying, What is this wickedness that has taken place among you? Let us take 13. Now then deliver up the men, the worthless fellows in Gibeah, that we may put them to death and remove this wickedness from Israel. But the sons of Benjamin would not listen to the voice of their brothers. The sons of Israel. 14. The sons of Benjamin gathered from the cities of Gibeah to go out to battle against the sons of Israel. 15. From the cities on that day, the sons of Benjamin were numbered 26,000 men who drew the sword, besides the inhabitants of Gibeah, who were numbered 700 choice men. 16. Out of all these people, 700 choice men were left-handed. Each one could sling a stone at a hare and not miss. 17. Then the men of Israel, besides Benjamin, were numbered